Just before you guys start, like where do we stand in terms of what is the age group of forum?
Tell you who I am first. I'm 56,
Okay, you have much experience than
right?
seniors.
But I've been in the Indian stock market since '07
So he has over 13 years of experience.
in the Indian markets. Prior to this, I've been in service with the MNCs of the country. I've been into my own business also. And after seeing service and business, I came into investments. So that is my background.
Right, you have an impressive experience on this then. Yeah.
Clear?
Yep.
Now, why am I looking at Canada market? I have a son who has taken a PR about 2.5 years earlier. He's scheduled to get his citizenship next year, March or April.
Okay.
Right? Now, I expect my second son to also apply and get through his PR. His formality should be done. I'm waiting for his degree papers to come in, which because of COVID has been delayed. And after that, I plan to apply for my PR also. So that should be by the end of 2021.
Great.
Now that gives you feedback or scenario of who I am and where am I coming from.
Great. Okay.
Right now, I tend to plan well in advance, which is why, because I was expecting to be there in the first quarter or second quarter of 2021, I started looking at the Canadian markets already. So I've come with that kind of a background. Now let me talk to you something about what investments are going to be like across the globe. I have a very strong feeling that people who are investing for the first time, I mean, those of you who have read my chats on the WhatsApp group would realize what I mentioned already. I strongly believe that if you are entering into a trading scenario or an investment scenario, you must first train yourselves in all aspects across. Now, investments and trading in stock market are of multiple natures. First, being a day trader. That means I take a position today in the morning, and by the afternoon or by the evening, I have squared it off and I've taken my money home or cut my losses and I'm out of my trade. I close my trade. That's a day trader. Right? Second would be a swing trader. A swing trader or a momentum trader would be trading for a week or for about a few weeks, hoping that the momentum will be in his favor. Now, stock trading is all about number games, all about probabilities. How good you think a probability is all about. And the probability of you being right has to be better than the probability of you being wrong. Now that will only come by experience, that will only come by study. If you study the markets, if you study what your strategy is. So a swing trader works for about a week to about 3 weeks. A momentum trader works for about 3 weeks to about 3 months. A short-term trader would work for about a duration of about 6 to 8 months. And a long-term investor, I'm using a word long-term investor because he would be investing for a period of about few years. Right? Now, all these kinds of trading and investing strategies have got different strategies to work on. You would look at different time frames of the market and then play on it. Now, if you're a long-term investor, what I suggest to all my students and all my children and anybody who wants to learn from me is that you invest in a stock whose products you and the market will use, the general population uses, because they are the last ones to go out of business. Something like an Apple, you don't expect him to go out of business at all. Even if he's expensive, he will not go out of business for the next 5 to 10 years. Now, long term would depend upon what you perceive as long term. You are looking at a target of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. Now, if you talk to me, for me, long term could be about 2 or 3 years only. But for a person like Kamal, who is just starting off his career, a long term of 15 years or 20 years is perfectly valid. He wants to basically invest and grow his wealth. A long-term investor will do it to grow his wealth, not to grow his money. He wants to pick up a wealth portfolio, right? So try and research for companies which are going to be products used by everybody in general, number one. Number two, which is a dividend paying company. Number three, which is low on debts and which is known in the market to be a professionally run company. Clear? I hope I'm audible to everybody and I'm making sense.
Yes,
Yes.
Vivek, thank you for that.
Thank you. All right. Lovely. So that gives you an idea about where I'm trying to go to. Now, I have done this small exercise earlier on the Indian stock market, and the same thing holds for any stock market. I had invested in just 3 stocks on a regular basis right from 2000 onwards, January 2000 onwards. What I did was I bought a fixed number of scripts of the same company on the first of every month, irrespective of the price. Irrespective of the price. Now you pick up your own companies that way, 3, 4, 5, but pick up absolute blue chip companies, irrespective whether it may be at a 52-week high or at its lifetime high. But I would pick up and buy 1 share each script, or depending upon my pocket, 2 or 5 shares each script every month on a fixed day of the month.
What do you mean by script?
A script is the name of a share that I'm going to buy. We in India would call it a script. You would call it a share
Yeah.
or a company product.
Right.
Right.
So he meant a share.
Yes, I meant shares. Like I had tell you, I mean, if you are aware of Indian markets, I had bought 1 bank, I had bought 1 FMCG company, and I had bought 1 infrastructure company. Why? Because if the country has to develop, all these 3 have to grow. A bank is required to fund the growth of a country. An infrastructure company is required to grow because the country has to grow and progress. And FMCG company is required to grow because the consumers or the citizens of the country will be consuming their products. Clear? So 3 very strong sectors which will always grow if the country has to progress. Clear? Guys, keep asking me questions if you want to, because I will keep talking and quizzing. I mean, carrying on. So, I mean, I started on an investment of about 500 rupees per month, which is about $100 in 2000. And it went up to about $1,000 or so, or less than $1,000. It went down to about $70 or so till 2020. Yeah. So it started from 500 rupees, which is about $10, to about 3,000 rupees, which is about $60 a month. I invested a figure. Now, don't look at the figure that way, but over a period of 20 years, I invested about 300,000 rupees in my portfolio, which current value is running at about 2,100,000 rupees, not counting the dividends that or the bonuses or the splits that the companies have issued so far. So from 300,000, it's gone to 2,100,000 over a period of about 19 and a half years. I hope that kind of a return is good enough for any one of us.
True. Yes.
Absolutely. That's really amazing to hear.
Right?
So yeah, one question I had here
Sure,
is,
sure, Kamal.
uh, so we understand that you have been investing 500 every month, and with the diligence that you are mentioning, it's
True.
rare to do it every month. We really applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Now the question that I have is, have you withdrawn from your portfolio and any of?
No, I have not. No, I have not. That's the portfolio I had built up for my retirement.
That's great.
Right? So on a 300,000, let's say $300,000 is now worth about $2,100,000, about almost about 2 million or so.
Right.
Hi Vivek, this is Aditya. I've got a question for you. So
Yeah.
in terms of the stocks that you mentioned, so one of the things that we always read is don't put all your eggs in one basket is what they say, wherein we would need to diversify our portfolio.
Very true. Very true.
So how is it that we are going to identify and make sure that we are investing in the right one? Because I know it comes with experience, but say for a beginner like me or most people, like how are we
Yeah.
going to identify like this is the right one, wherein we can look at say at least for a 5 and 10 year perspective to start off with, and then look at from a longer perspective. That is something that you can help us, that will be beneficial.
Lovely, Aditya. Lovely. Now, all right. Now, I already shortlisted 3 sectors for you. I've shortlisted the banking sector, I've shortlisted the infrastructure sector, and I've shortlisted the FMCG sector. All right. Now, all these 3 sectors are sectors which are required by every country across the globe. Across the globe. It is not that it is that the Americans don't require infrastructure development requirements. The Americans also require infrastructure developments. Now, what you do is you look at these sectors and pick up the number 1 or the number 2 company in that sector. Now, do you expect the number 1 or the number 2 company in that sector to ever fail during your lifetime?
I would say no.
Right? You would not expect them, right? Similarly, if I'm looking at an FMCG, if I'm looking at Unilever or a Procter & Gamble, do you ever expect them to fail in your lifetime? Even the grandchildren will remember Unilever and Procter & Gamble's.
Yeah, it's coming for a long time. That's true. Even the
True.
grandfathers knew about it.
Similarly goes for a bank. If Canada has to progress and grow and improve upon its world ranking, it requires a banking facility to fund all these exercises. So you pick up the number 1 or the number 2 bank of Canada, preferably which is not a government controlled bank. Like Indians, we have a tendency of having State Bank of India as a government controlled bank. I would not invest in a government controlled bank. Right? So I have given you 3 sectors. You pick up 3 sectors only. Do a study of it. Pick up the number 1 and the number 2 company of the one which is most market capitalized or which is the leaders in those sectors, and invest only in them. Now, I don't expect, if the average group of this age is about 25 or 30, I expect you to live till the age of about 90, another 60 more years. Right? And after 70 or after 65, you will be then looking at your own pension fund. So if you are today, you are at about 30, in about 35 years, you should have enough money to have a decent and a well-established retired life. So if today, if you're going to invest $150, by the end of about 20 years or 30 years, you would be investing approximately about $1,000. But I'm sure at that age, at that time, $1,000 would be chicken feed for you. Peanuts. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, I think that makes sense. So one more question. Yeah.
Sure.
So one more question is, I know you said you identified the banking, infra, and FMCG. So how about something like a tech stock, or say if you look at some energy stocks or something, wherein I know which also will be running for a long time, right? So
an energy stock, I would agree to you. A tech stock, I would not, because technology keeps upgrading and changing every 6 months.
Okay.
So I would be very skeptical about a tech stock. That's the reason. That's my logic. I may be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I may be wrong, but I would like to look at sectors which I know had my grandfather picked it up, he would have maintained the same sector, and had I picked it up, my grandchildren will also be maintaining the same sector. I mean, who would have thought about technology, what it is today, about 20 years back?
Very true, I agree. Yeah.
Like I started my career, we hardly had computers around. In India, we hardly had computers in 95, 96, we hardly had computers around. And today, if I tell this to my son, he said, Dad, if you did not have computers, how are you living your life? That's the statement he makes. He's almost 25 now. He tells me, Dad, how are you living your life without a computer? That is what technology is all to me. It keeps changing, and technology can always be disruptive. I would look at energy, if you said it was right. I would look at energy, but not technology. I mean, that is my personal view. You take your own call that way, and don't dig into penny stocks. Pick up always the group leaders, sector leaders. Don't look at penny stocks.
What do you mean by penny stock?
Something like what, if you ask me, my son just picked up Just Energy. Now that is rolling at about 45 or 47 cents a share. I would not even have touched it. I would not even have touched Just Energy.
To be honest,
I would look at
Vivek, Vivek, those are the ones we always start with.
I know, Aditya. Kamal is going to give me a proper bajing after this. Then why are you not talking about penny stock? But if I'm talking about long-term investments, no, I will not touch penny stocks. It may grow, it may not grow. It's a risk. But if I'm looking at long-term investments to build up a portfolio for my grandchildren or for my retirement, I'll look at solid stocks, rock solid.
Yeah, but all blue chips were at one point of time penny stocks.
I agree. But then I am going to invest in the same script for the next 25, 30 years. I can always do that I can pick up rock solid stocks, 3, and I can pick up 3 penny stocks also if I have surplus funds to, satisfy my craving for speculation. Like, all right, now, like just as an example of Just Energy, I was following it very closely. Just Energy has been rolling at the rate of about 0.47 or 0.45 since March or even earlier. It gave you a spurt to come to about 1.10 or 1.12 about 2 weeks back. And where is it rolling now? Below its average price of 40.47. It's rolling at about 0.45. Now, what is it that it cannot go down to 0.25 also? Are you willing to take that brunt of taking a 50% wipe, 50% drawback on your investments?
No, but if the strategy is for a long term, maybe for 10 years, then?
I agree. For a 10-year process, a Just Energy may be perfectly poised, and in case if it turns around. But what if it doesn't turn around? Which is the sector which is leading on energy just now? Which is the company which is leading on energy? And what price is it ruling at?
Yeah.
Amal, could you do that research for me in the meantime? Because you will not require to hear this.
Yes, sure.
Enrich or something, right?
Yeah, Enrich.
Yeah.
Enrich. And what is the Enrich ruling at?
CNRL would also be good.
All right. So, and what are they currently trading at?
Around 40 something. Enrich is around 40.
Exactly. 40, and he's at 0.47. What is he working at? 1% of the market leader. Now imagine if the sector has to grow on a 10% growth per annum over a period of 20 years, how much will 40 be at the end of 10 years? And how much will 0.45 or 0.5 be at the end of 10 years? Both growing at the same rate.
True.
That is where your wealth is generated. That is how wealth is generated. Now, coming back to our trading strategy. When I'm talking about long-term trading, I require to look at the markets once a week only. preferably on a Saturday, with a bottle of beer or a glass of wine or whatever your poison may be. Just 1 hour a week, because I'm talking about long-term investments, just to check how is my portfolio growing. But if I'm a day trader, I have to be on the markets when the market opens till the market closes, because I am digging a well on a minute by minute basis and I'm generating my profits.
So
Are you
Vivek,
got that alert?
Vivek, sorry to interrupt you. I've got another question regarding this.
Sure.
So I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think here I can look at a combination as well, right? Say wherein you say, okay, I am ready to invest religiously, say $100 or $150 amount on a monthly basis. Apart
Yeah.
from that, say I have got an amount of say 2,000 to 3,000 aside, okay, which I am okay to lose. When I say okay to lose, not in terms of I want to lose it, but okay, I want
I
to do a
agree.
day trade. So
Yeah.
do you think that's the right approach, or do you say instead of using the 2,000 to 3,000 to day
Aditya,
trade,
what I
you
would
can
do
invest in
is,
longer term?
if I have $2,000 to $3,000 for day trading, I would invest in day trading, but then I have to be alert during the market hours. You cannot be saying that I'm working in Apple or I'm working for some other company in Canada and I'm day trading during office hours, because you will not be able to day trade then. You will have to do day trading, means you will have to have your screen in front of you for that time when the market remains open. Till the time your trades are open, you have to concentrate on the market also. Can you do that?
Not when this work from home thing goes off.
Exactly. So till this work from home, I can understand you have one laptop dedicated only for day trading. But once your work from home gets ended and you're back to work, then you will not be able to do day trading. You can do swing if you want. You can do positional if you want. You can do long-term investments if you want. But you can't do day trading. A day trading is a full-time job on its own. A full-time job on its own.
Okay, so my question is, Vivek, I think that's a valid point. So what do we do of this 2,000? So would you say invest in the same set of stocks, a larger amount, like as we do in mutual funds, when we have a larger
You
amount?
could either do that. I personally am against mutual funds and other traded funds across, because I look at it this way, that with your money, some other company is training its staff members on mutual funds. Now, what I have told you is three stocks. You could enhance it to 5 stocks. This is something like a standard investment procedure or a SIP, which the funds would be doing on your behalf. You are doing it directly,
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
right? So if you are doing it directly on your own, you don't look at the fund every 1 month. You look at the fund once in a year, preferably on a birthday each. Okay, boss, I have invested for about 11 months or 12 months. Let me see what the portfolio value has gone up to. Now, if you look at my portfolio, which I've done for the last 20 odd years, there were times where I was losing at the end of 1 year. I was down by almost about 100,000 rupees at some point of time. But on the overall, without counting the dividends, without counting the splits, without counting the bonuses, I've made almost 7 to 8 times of my value. I've multiplied the value by 7 to 8 times. From a 300,000 rupee portfolio or a dollar portfolio has now come to about $2.1 million portfolio. With the dips that I've seen, I'm talking about 2000.
Yeah.
The stock markets made a major correction in India.
I think, Kamal, we are here better late than never. I think he has got valid points, which I
Right.
think are useful for us.
Yeah.
So what you could do, Aditya, is that with the excess money which you have,
Mhm.
you could pick up penny stocks also for a duration of a month or 2.
Okay.
You were present when I was speaking to Kamal about the various indicators that I used after
Correct,
the session, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. Like the CCIs
RSIs and
and
CCIs
Bollinger
and
Band
Williams
RSI.
are,
Yeah.
right? Now those are the indicators I would use for a momentum or a swing trader.
Okay.
I would use that and enter and hold. Like I was telling Kamal what a mistake he did with of one of
Shopify.
his favorite stocks, Shopify. I would never have sold it off. I would have bought it at 500 and I would have taken it till the ride of about $1,500. Kamal, you remember that? Shopify?
Yeah. So I
And the
had,
group is now talking about Shopify of, buying it back again. Yes, buy it again at around 1,000. That is the support. I mean, I'm not seeing the chart, but randomly I would say 1,000 or 800 is where the first support would come to, if I'm not mistaken, Kamal. We were talking about 800, am I right?
yeah. So I had sold out at 660.
Yes,
Around
you ventured out early. You moved out of the stock early and you re-entered the stock.
Yeah, so I had bought the stock around 450 and I was doing swing trade with Shopify around Feb and March 2020. When it crossed 666, I sold it out, and since then it reached over 1400.
And I told him that I would never have liquidated my position till it reached 1400 and above, till I did not see the first red candle. And the first red candle did come around 800, if I'm not mistaken. It came at 800 for about one or two candles and then it moved up again. So I would have sold off at that point 800, rebought at about 850 and taken it to 1450 or 1500 and then sold it off again and wait for the dip to come to 850. So that is what we call about swing and position. Kamal had taken this in the month of February.
Yes.
How many months back was that? 6 months back. In 6 months, at from 450 to 1500, you would be tripling your money. Tripling your money. You think you require more? You require better benefits. That is the advantage of a swing or a momentum trade, which you could do, Aditya, with your small capital of $2,000 or $2,500 a month. I could identify only one or two trades or three trades which are momentum, which I will do it on every Saturday evening only. When I'm sitting with my girlfriend or I'm sitting with my family, I require half an hour to only do that trade, to identify that stock. And Monday morning, I place my order and I forget it. If it clicks, it clicks. If it clicks, it clicks. For my son, I told him, buy Air Canada at $14.50 or $15. Unfortunately, that trade never happened. And after I told that to him, Air Canada, I told him about 5 stocks. Each stock has risen by about 12%. And that is just 3 weeks back. 3 weeks back.
So Vivek, in gist, if we understand, are you suggesting that we should be allocating major portion of our investment for long term?
No, Kamal, I would say whatever you invest a very minor amount in your long-term portfolio because it will grow exponentially. Some amount which you can forget that you ever had invested. And then watch that money grow over a period of your working career of about 20-25 years.
Okay.
You will be generating a wealth and leaving that for your grandchildren, not even for your child, for your grandchild.
Absolutely. That's fantastic that we choose one stock and leave it for generations to buy and just keep it and see it growing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And buy the same stock every month. I mean, of course, Kamal, I think we already in our second session, so Tariq would also be around to pick it up. I'm eating into your time. Sorry for that.
No,
guys,
I
could do this every week with you. I could do this every week with you.
Yeah, this is important, and we are having these sessions for learning these experienced tricks and strategies
Absolutely.
from people like
from
you.
Anybody, why me, anybody, any one of us.
Right.
I think any one of us, even a fresher could come and give in his input and it will be worth the point. But guys, all I can say is first learn the tricks of the trade. You did not become managers and and critical employees of a company without refining your skills. So refine your skills, do some paper trade, because when you're doing a paper trade, you are not getting emotionally involved. Your money is not getting involved. But when you do an actual trade, your money is involved, your blood pressure shoots up, you start palpating, everything will happen. Greed comes into play. Fear comes into play, which is not there in paper. Why I said paper trade for about 3 to 4 months? Because you would then consecutively learn what is it that is helping you to get a winning trade.